Subsequently coming out, UNC Hospital is also on lockdown. I just confirmed with Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools. They are now, all of those public schools around that UNC campus are also in secure mode. Chapel Hill Transit, which runs the buses there on campus, is now holding their buses as we are in this secure lockdown mode. And again, UNC Hospital on lockdown mode as well. We're trying to get you as much information as we can in a short period of time. What I want to do is let you hear from the students who are there right now. We have Margaret Freeman on the phone with us. She is a sophomore from Elkin. Margaret, let me know that you're there, and where are you?
I'm here. I'm in Davis Library right beside the Carolina Union, where it was suspected that the gun was pulled.
Okay, and we have not heard any kind of confirmation of that as of yet. Tell me how you are. How are the other students?
I'm scared. I was on the first floor of Davis, and a friend texted me that she was outside and people started running, and so I kind of heard before there was like an announcement, and so I rushed up to the second floor to meet two friends. And then the announcement came over that everyone needed to get off the first floor of Davis because it's right beside the building where it happened. And so we are in a staff office that doesn't lock, but there are staff outside, hopefully there to protect us.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you're there with a couple of friends. That always helps when you're going through a trying situation, to be with people that you know. This is the second time this has happened in 16 days.
Yes.
I just can't imagine the fear, the fatigue of it, maybe even anger over all of this.
Honestly, yes. Whenever we heard what happened, both my friend and I like kind of broke down a little bit just because of like the emotion that comes with hearing something like that, especially after going through it once before, and just honestly like the trauma that we have from hearing that kind of thing. So there is a lot of emotion, definitely anger towards like, how can this kind of thing happen once, much less twice in the span of 3 weeks? But we're trying to get through it.
All right, so I want you to just walk me through it again, if you don't mind, especially since people are probably kind of like tuning in and hearing this for the first time. Tell me what time you heard the alert and what happened and what you had to do where you were.
I got a text from a friend before I heard the alert. I'm not sure exactly what time the alert came out, but as soon as I heard that, I rushed up to the second floor, and then we got the alert and everyone started rushing up. I really am not sure. I can check what time I got it. I got the first alert at, I know I got one at 1:29 p.m., but that could have not been the first one. 12:56, I think, was the first one.
And so I know that this is the second time that it has happened in 16 days. Has anything changed between those 16 days of like what you were told to do or how you were to react if this were to ever happen again?
Yes, the last time this happened, I was also in Davis Library where I am right now. And the first time it happened, I didn't receive any instruction from staff or anything like that. It was sort of like we just did what we thought was best, which was pretty scary considering we knew someone had been shot. But this time, as soon as it happened, there was staff that opened their offices and like put us in there and gave us instruction. So that's like good to see that now we have more things put in place to keep us safe and more like trained staff that know what to do.
So I'm sure as soon as you get to a safe place, you're texting parents, you're texting friends.
Yes, of course.
And I mean, when you're texting your parents, I mean, I can't imagine the fear as a parent talking to my kid, knowing that I can't get to my kid. Are you trying to reassure your parents that you're okay?
I texted my parents and I said like, there's a gun on campus again. Like, I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. And like my mom's a teacher, so she can't see right now. She doesn't know what's going on. But my dad's texting me, and he tried to call me, but at first, like, I couldn't talk because, like, we're in a closed room, like, trying to figure out what to do, so we had to be quiet. It's really scary, but I appreciate, like, everyone being there for us at this time.
I mean, we are certainly thinking about you, and we are praying that everything and everyone is safe and that this gets over very, very quickly. Margaret, is there anything that you would want other people to know that maybe, they're watching this and they're going, I can't believe, what's happening. I don't know how students hang on. What can I do for these students?
I really just, especially after this happening twice, I just feel like you don't know really how bad it feels until you're in it. So just like imagine like the biggest fear coming true and then it happening again less than 3 weeks later. So just like hopes that things will happen so that this doesn't happen again. Like we need change. And I appreciate how much our university has like worked and how much better things have gotten since the first one in terms of like staff being prepared, but just hopes that things will get better and this won't happen again.
I'm sure that they have offered some kind of counseling or help or things of that nature since that first incident. Have you been able to take them up on that? Has anything like that helped you?
Yeah, they've offered a lot more extensive like CAPS resources, which is like our mental health agency on campus, and they also have one really great thing was they had a bunch of like therapy dogs come on campus, which was really helpful for me and a bunch of my friends. But it's just really nice because those were just community members who volunteered to bring dogs and animals and just like their support in general on campus as we like tried to get back to normal. And I'm sure like there will be many things like that this time too. And so we do appreciate like all those volunteers and just like them being here to show their support for us.
Mm-hmm. Margaret, I'm sure like when you went off to school, this was not even a thought in your mind, although I'm imagining that you did do some drills in high school for things like this.
Yes, I'm from a really small high school in Elkin, so we never had anything to this extent, never a shooter or a gun really pulled at school. So this is definitely a new feeling for me and my classmates from my high school. But we did have a few lockdown drills in high school, so I'm thankful to that for helping me prepare for this. But I never imagined that this would be how my first semester of my sophomore year started out.
Mm-hmm. You've now been in lockdown for about almost an hour, saying that the first alert came in at 12:56 to your phone. It is about 1:53 right now. The UNC Police, I know that they sent it out on X as well, emergency armed, dangerous person on or near campus. Go inside now, avoid windows. When you hear other students starting to talk about that and you think to yourself, I have to get somewhere, was it clear to you, like, this is where I need to go quickly?
As soon as I heard it, I knew that I was on the first floor of the building right next to where it happened, so I knew I had to go up. I couldn't go outside. Thankfully, one of my friends texted, and she was on the second floor, and that was just about as far as I could get before things started locking down for good. So I'm thankful to have heard from her and been able to get up here and be with people I know and hopefully a safe place. But yeah. It is a scary moment to feel that.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you are with people that you know. I know this is an awful situation. We're seeing lots of other people go to text or go to other postings, whether that be Facebook or X, saying, it hasn't even been 2 weeks since the last shooting. I'm locked in the exact same basement I was on the 28th with the exact same people. I wonder, like, how you get past this to continue to go on learning and doing things as normal. How did you cope in the last 2 weeks, and how do you think that this is going to work itself out this way?
Yeah, so this is like during the same class period that the last shooting happened. So I don't have class right now, that's why I'm in the library, but a bunch of my friends are in the same room with the same people that this happened last time. So obviously, like, this just adds to the trauma and fear of like just being in that space. And it took a lot for us to be able to go back to the places we were when the first shooting happened. So I can just imagine how much like mental effort it's going to take for us to get past this one too. Just after feeling these feelings and a lot of times the same places as it was the first time.
Yeah. Margaret, we so appreciate you talking with us. I want to check in with you, but I also want you to have the freedom to be able to call and talk to your dad and text your friends and family that you need to do that with. But we do want to continue to talk with you. Eric, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to, Margaret, it's Eric Chilton. You've spoken with your parents, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I've talked to my dad. My mom's in school right now, so I don't think she knows what's going on.
And you said you're in Davis Library, and that's where you were the first go around, correct?
Yes.
Does that, I'm thinking like from a psyche standpoint, does that, will that place forever remind you of these incidents, I would guess? I mean, I feel like Davis Library, for those of you that don't know, and Margaret, you can second me on this, it's arguably the largest library on campus. A lot of students study there. This must be tough to be there again.
Yeah, actually yesterday was the first day that I came back into Davis after the shooting a few weeks ago, just because I really didn't want to be in the same place. And then just the fact that I came back in here today and a few minutes later, like, realized that I was going to go through the same thing that I went through last time. It's like definitely mentally challenging, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about Davis after this, just because of everything I've felt in here.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
That this will, you know, no college student should ever have to go through this, and the fact that you've been through it 2 times in a month, right? We're so sorry that you have to deal with this, but I will say this. It's so unusual. This is so unusual, and I want you and all the students to know that in any college campus, this is so rare and so unusual that it would happen, especially 2 of these in such a short amount of time. I would hate for this to diminish your college experience, and I think that the will, the strength of the student body, the staff for that matter, can pull you through this, and the love of family. I know Margaret's family, as a matter of fact, very well. Her father was my roommate at Carolina. And so it's extra tough for me to hear that you're going through this.
Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate it. And I feel confident that, like, the UNC community as a whole will get through it, and hopefully this will never happen again.
It's very true.
All right, Margaret, we're going to let you go, make more texts, do more calls. We want to talk with you later on, because we want to hear that you are free of where you are having to shelter in place and that things are getting much better, and we'll check back in with you. Thanks so much, Margaret.
Thank you. Bye.
I mean, what do you say? You can't, there's nothing you can say to make it any better for these kids. And really, I have to keep saying the staff, because the last go around, we know how that was, the entire UNC community.
All right, and this is yet another alert that is being sent out now. So, you know, the first alert happened at that 12:55 time. And since then, several additional alerts have been sent out to make sure that everybody knows that the shelter in place is still intact. And again, it says, reports of an armed and dangerous person, continue to shelter. Silence your phones, and also to check the Alert Carolina for information. And so they're continuing to send out these alert notices to make sure that everybody knows what is happening and what they should be doing. What was really interesting to me, Eric, I wasn't sure if you heard all of what she was saying, is that within the last 2 weeks, I said, was the reaction from staff and what you knew to do different this time than last time? And she said, yeah, last time it was kind of like it was a free-for-all. Everybody just do whatever you think is right. She says this time staff started opening up their offices and opening up rooms and things like that so that the students could pour in and get to where they needed to be.
Well, and you know, I mean, I don't know this to be a fact, but I'm saying, you know, as in surely, there were discussions among the entire university staff after the last incident, which ironically now, thank goodness they did that, which helps a little bit, but this is like, you know, it's ripping the scab off, you know, and these kids are gonna, it'll take time. I mean, she said, I mean, I can't believe that yesterday was the first day she was back in Davis, and she said that was very hard.
It took her almost 2 weeks to get there.
Yes, and then here we go again. So it's gonna take a lot of, there'll be counseling and therapy, and you know, in a way it's almost, you're almost grieving, you know, because of the loss of your collegiate experience, if you want to say that, you know, and just their normal life. They'll get back to normalcy, but this is going to take months, I would think.
Yeah, and this is, of course, just like it last time, the UNC lockdown means that it is going to have a ripple effect through the entire community. So this is the UNC hospital post there talking about how areas around South Road and the Bell Tower deck may be closed, that they're encouraging patients not to travel to campus or any of their clinics in Chapel Hill. So you're thinking to yourself the ripple effect of all these things, all these people who are going about their normal daily lives, trying to get their doctor's appointments or that kind of thing, and that they are told do not come to specific areas of UNC hospitals, and that they are on secure mode as well. We also identified with Chapel Hill Transit, which runs the buses in and around the campus. They are holding their buses at this time as well. And then just like last time, the Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools. Remember, you've got all of these campuses that are all around the UNC Chapel Hill campus. So you've got kids K through 12 who are going to school who are once again, you know, the second time in 16 days on secure mode and on lockdown in those schools.
And that affects, well, they're little ones, you know, it's probably even more confusing for them that we've gone through this just recently. Now we have to do it all again. I'm looking through social media just to see what I can find. A lot of the posts that I'm seeing, and a lot of these are from people, don't know if some of them are parents or not, arguably, probably are, but they're saying things like, is this a drill? Is this just a drill because of what happened last time? And no, unfortunately, it is not. Now we have a long way to go before we find out exactly what's going on, and we have not been given the all clear yet, correct?
No.
Right? So we'll just have to keep watching. Honestly, I would tell a lot of you, as much as sometimes social media can be a horrible thing, there are times like this when it does help if you're watching the right accounts.
Yeah, the right accounts.
The right accounts.
You know, if someone's saying, oh, I saw this or I heard this
no.
or that kind of stuff, they're making outlandish claims, things that you're just like, that can't be. You need to look at somebody else like UNC Chapel Hill or Chapel Hill Transit or that kind of thing to see if that is what the other people are also reporting.
UNC Police.
UNC Police, same thing. What we can do is we can kind of like go back to the beginning of what we know, and this is at 12:55. The first alert came out about an armed and dangerous person either on or near campus. And so that alert went out. You heard it go out over the entire campus, you know, that recording that went out. Everybody was told to shelter in place, avoiding the windows, to go inside now. There hasn't been another confirmation of we have someone, we heard shots. None of that has happened. No one has said we have heard shots or we have confirmed shots or anything of that nature, or we're looking for someone specific.
So interesting when UNC hospitals put that alert out, you talked about that patients just don't come in for treatments. That bell tower and the Stadium Drive and UNC hospitals area is the exact same place last time where our reporters were. If you remember when Nixa Norman was out there and Hannah Jeffries, all right there at that street. That's the exact same location that they're talking about.
And that brings us to, it was August the 28th, so it was 16 days ago when we were all here almost around the same exact time when we heard that there was an active shooter on campus at UNC. Again, that was August the 28th. This is video that you're watching from that August 28th. This is not today. I want to make that very clear. This is from August the 28th. And this is when we now know that a graduate student went to their associate professor at Cottle Laboratories, and police say that that graduate student is the one who shot that professor. That's what police are saying. Again, this is video that you're seeing from August 28th when they had the first active shooter 16 days ago on UNC Chapel Hill's campus. You're watching students trying to get out of a certain place and to get into another safe place. Again, this is the August 28th video. I don't want to make sure that anyone feels like that they are looking at what is happening today. We're continuing to get information about what is happening on campus. We do know that students are sheltering in place. We've seen several pictures. We've got some video from other students as well. They're in big halls. They're in small office spaces. This is what you're seeing. And of course, the first thing that you see when I look at any of these things is that every single student is on their phone. Right? They are contacting their family members, they are contacting their friends, they are letting people know that they are okay, but that they are once again scared on campus.
And so I'm looking through social media, every official account, right? UNC, their official account, the Chapel Hill Police, the town of Chapel Hill. Everybody, all they've said so far is just the same alert that we get that told the students to shelter in place. There has been nothing out there, or nothing reported other than what we've told you so far. We're still efforting to get that, but as you know, an active investigation, or a situation in this case, is an active situation. They cannot do but so much. I noticed, I saw some parents were saying we need more information, we need more. They can't release all that just yet, but we do know, at least at this point, we've had no reports of injuries. We don't know that to be a fact, but they have to bring information out little bits at a time. So I spoke with UNC and former Greensboro Police Chief Brian James shortly after the incident, first incident in Chapel Hill, and he said, you know, we will let the media know first because that's the best way to get it out there, right? And he said, when we have situations like this, not knowing we'd have another one less than 2 weeks later, he said, we will get the information out, but when we're active, we have to play the cards close to the chest, and that's what they're doing right now.
Well, I mean, I am imagining, big open campus, right? You're getting the students off and away from any of the things, but then they're having to field all of the texts or calls that people are calling in tips or things that they saw, or this is what I heard, or that kind of thing, and they're trying to hunt all of those things down, right?
Because you don't know, some people, God knows why, but they'll call with fake information just to try to be a part of it. So they have to vet all that information that comes in and make sure that it's accurate and proper.
This video right now is from today. So this is what you are seeing right now on UNC's campus. This is live video, so you can see the police presence there. And once again, to me, this is the eeriest thing, is that you see nobody walking around on campus because they tell them to lock down and to shelter in place. It's just so very odd because that is not how you normally see a campus, but you're seeing a heavy, heavy police presence there all around that Davis Library that we're talking about. And is that the student union?
So that is, so yes, the student union is on the other side of that. That's part of the same building on the right. Not that one, but the one you saw on the right. And that is, and Davis Library is behind all those buildings you just saw. It's a really tall, monstrous library. It's the largest on campus. So all of that is happening. And this corner where we're seeing that video, that vantage point, was exactly where we were 2 weeks ago.
Where our reporters and our crews were.
So I'm just getting some text from people that are there. Our Hannah Jeffries is saying that there's a police presence at Cameron and Raleigh Street, if you know where that is. And as you said, few people are out and about, but she said there are multiple choppers flying over. We don't know if that's police and media or just one or the other at this point.
Trying to find whoever maybe have done something.
Yep.
Again, we don't have any confirmation that there were any shots fired or anything like that. What we do know from UNC is that from the alert that they put out, was that there is someone who was armed and possibly dangerous on or near campus.
And I mean, when that's all you know, there's not a lot at this point. We have to stick around. Now, you know, you hope with fingers crossed that maybe it was something small and everything's under control. We just don't know that yet, so we'll keep that hope out.
It's just such a sick feeling, especially knowing that it's happening around the same time. When we talked to Margaret Freeman, the sophomore from Elkin, that you know their family, to hear her say, having it happen around the same time and me being in the same place again, she said the fear was just...
I mean, that's PTSD, and let's be honest, you know, like when something like that happens, you remember that area, you know, and now she finally got up enough nerve to get back in there, and 24 hours later, something, we don't know what, maybe not as bad as the last time, but something happened again. It's just it's a horrible, when I came in and you were interviewing her and I was kind of walking in midstream, to hear a voice of a college student, you know what I mean? You identify with that. I know where she is in her life, and it's just so sad that these experiences will rob people of what they could have.
No, I saw your face and I saw the red on your cheeks because I could see the personal part of yours. Like, I know her.
I started
she is my
tearing
kid's
up.
age.
Yep, and because her dad and I were best friends from first grade through college and went through all 4 years in college together. So when I heard her voice and knowing that family so close, that's really hard to hear. But I know all the students feel the same way. You know, they're all going, here we go again. It's just so sad.
And the parents too, I just think of, you know, getting that text one more time.
Yeah, and if
from
your kid is
child.
okay the first go around, and here we go again. Now all that fear comes back again. the wonder, the worry, the doubt. Even if you hear from them, you're still worried as a parent.
Oh,
Just
sure.
that call that says I'm in a classroom.
Sheltering in place.
Who knows? You know, I can't imagine that. I don't know what that feels like, and I hope I never experience it. It's just, unless you go through that, only you know how that feels.
We are now about an hour and about 15 or 20 minutes into this. From what we know, the first alert came at 12:55 from UNC Chapel Hill saying that you needed to shelter in place. Since then, there have been, I believe, 3 or 4 subsequent alerts that have said you need to continue to shelter in place and you need to silence your phones and you need to stay in one spot. And so that is what the staff and the students will continue to do until they hear otherwise. We do have crews on the scene. I know that our own Hannah Jeffries is working towards being able to tell you what it's like on campus right now.
So this was 40 seconds ago. UNC Chapel Hill just said all clear, resume normal activities. Am I correct in that, saying 40 seconds?
40 seconds.
I just want to make sure that I'm right about that.
All clear, resume normal activities. That is from UNC Chapel Hill, the alert. All clear, all clear. That has not updated as of yet, but that was on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Formerly Twitter, yep.
And I will double check that as well.
Let's double check that before, because I do not want that to get out there if it's not right. That is from the official UNC Chapel Hill, and it says now 1 minute ago, all clear, all clear. No details yet, still.
Nope. But that is right there. Alert Carolina, all clear, resume normal activities. So from 12:55 to now, which is about 2:10, 2:11 or so, that is how long it took to be able to do the all clear. And again, we don't know why it's all clear.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the first entire alert was.
And it'll be, don't you think it'd be several hours before they do a press conference to let us know anything, because they got to get all their facts right and ducks in a row. But that's so nice to hear that at least we have that much to go on. I'd rather hear that than anything else at this point. So when they say resume normal activities, that makes me feel like at least the threat is over and they can figure out what happened as they go along.
Although I think to myself, how do you resume natural, normal activities after something like that,
You
right?
don't.
You just hang with the people that make you feel good and make you feel safe. And
I mean, I can see in my mind, I see college friends that are so close finding each other quickly, you know what I mean? Kind of staying together as a group.
Right.
All that mental support that you need from friends when something bad happens.
And that's something that Margaret had said as well, that the CAPS, that they were giving opportunities for students to have counseling or talk to someone or, that kind of thing, so that they would be able to kind of mentally get themselves together, right, and go to class and do those other things. What you're looking at right now is a video from UNC campus as of today, and you can see a heavy police presence there. Remember that the alert call came in at 12:55, and it was told to all students and staff to shelter in place, turn off your phones and things of that nature. Then just about 2 minutes ago now, we have received the all clear.
And that's the best news we could get. We're going to check in now. Chad Silber, we're coming to Chad first to talk about this for a minute and see what's going on.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So Hannah Jeffries, reporter, just got on scene. Hannah, what can you tell us about what you're seeing right now? Obviously, with live TV, we're dealing with a microphone or audio issue here, so we're going to keep trying to get you, Hannah. All right. So we're going to let them. Let's go back to the other two at the desk while we figure this out.
The good news is that Hannah looks like she's going to be able to tell us, hey, here's the all clear, and we're starting to see students probably start milling around campus again.
She had texted me a few minutes ago saying that the police presence was moving from Cameron Avenue up Raleigh. So I don't know if that meant that's where they're headed to do more investigating, or if they were pulling out of that scene because they got the all clear and they were needed somewhere else. So either way, it's shifting, and there's good news in the fact that they've given the all clear. I mean, that's the best news we could get at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And so we want to also see if we might be able to touch base with Margaret maybe again as well, just to hear that she is
Yes.
okay, just to know that she no longer has to shelter in place and things of that nature. Again, this alert coming 16 days after the last incident on UNC Chapel Hill's campus. That incident ended very, very differently. We knew at that August 28th incident that it was a deadly shooting.
Yes.
When it comes to this incident, it was simply someone armed and dangerous is either in or near or on campus somewhere, and that everybody was to shelter in place until they found the ruling of we're going to let it go.
All right, so hopefully we have our audio fixed. Let's head back over to Chad. So.
Yeah, it sounds like we have it fixed. Hannah just got on scene. Hannah, can you tell us what campus is like right now?
Yeah, I'm still having some issues there.
Okay. If you can handle this just for a minute, because
Yes.
I believe that it's coming,
You think you can? All right.
I think I might be able to help that.
So, and I'm looking again, I wanted to look at a map to make sure if I remember where Raleigh Street is. I know where Cameron Avenue is and Chapel Hill. But Hannah Jeffries, who probably will have this for us in just a minute when we get this worked out, basically was saying that the police presence looked like it was shifting, and that was right as we were getting the all clear from UNC. And we'll check that one more time just to check our timestamp. It's only been a few minutes since that all clear was issued. Here's something. So there's a student that had tweeted also, said for the second time this semester, sirens were on campus for an armed and dangerous person. How is this real life? I mean, this is what the students are feeling. Like, it just must feel extremely surreal and almost impossible that the same thing can happen in 2 weeks' time. And that's just, I feel for them about this. But again, at least we do have the all clear now. We're just waiting for more details coming out. Let me look again. I want to check. Yeah, most of the posts that we're seeing on social media from students are just almost in the form of disbelief to a degree. Let me go back and read that. So it's been about 6 minutes since we got the all clear. So UNC Chapel Hill said definitively here, all clear, 2 times. And then they said, resume normal activities. That same tweet is being shared by just about all the official UNC or Chapel Hill organizations. We're talking about Chapel Hill Police, and I'm checking some of the other ones to see if they're echoing any of this. We have not had information about the situation, what happened, or any of that at this point. Still trying to figure that out. All right, well, here's, no, I'm sorry, cannot do that one. That's an old one. They start popping up. All right, so that's the official, that's the latest, is that they've given the all clear. No details whatsoever. We've spoken with, Margaret Freeman, a student there, who said she was in the exact same place that she was in the first go around with this. I would imagine a lot of students have the same thing. They were in the same general area, the same vicinity. Even where we were seeing our cameras located this go around was the same spot that we dealt with it last time.
And I just got an update from Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools that they're actually going to start dismissing their elementary starting around 2:30. I mean, you've got to think that once again, you've got kids K through 12 who
Yes.
are also going to be going home to their families talking about the lockdown, the secure mode that they were in once again this time around, and those teachers as well in all those city schools.
So I'll say this to parents, not just of the college kids now, but I'm thinking about those little ones at the surrounding schools. You have to have that conversation. Even if you already did it, you do it again, because they need extra assurance that everything's okay, and that sometimes, we have tornado drills for a reason. We have these type drills for a reason. And you got to prepare your kids emotionally for this type of thing by talking about it, assuring them that you will be there as quickly as possible, and the staff knows what they're doing. I think if it's me and I'm the university or a school in the area, I would have discussion, open, transparent workshop type discussions with everyone. Invite any student that wants to come. If you have to do it in those giant classrooms like you see here, where the kids actually were, or do it in the Dean Dome, wherever you need to get everybody there, and do some Q&A type stuff to just get everybody on the same page, de-escalate it a little bit, so that everyone knows that the staff and the faculty and the administration is in control, and they know how to handle this.
Yeah, and these are pictures that were taken from students today on UNC campus and sent, posted. And so you can see that the students were in dark classrooms or whatever auditorium they happened to be in, that they barricaded themselves in there once again. Some of them are in offices from the staff. And professors and things of that nature. And what you can see in every single one of these pictures is that all of the kids are on their phones, right? They're on their phones letting their parents, their family, their friends know that they are okay, but they are once again fearful and sheltering in place. And while the alert is gone, and I'm sure people are now, walking through campus and
Yes.
getting out of those places where they were sheltering in place, this is not going to end for them today.
No, I mean, it starts all over again. The type of mental stress that they've gone through and still go through, it's going to take, it takes time for wounds to heal, whether they're mental or physical, and that's exactly what these kids are going to have to deal with.
Mm-hmm. And as we continue to work to get Hannah Jeffries on to kind of give you an idea of what campus looks like now, just a quick recap. It was the 12:25 when we first heard that alert or saw that alert that there was someone who was armed and dangerous on or near campus. This is video from UNC Chapel Hill today. It is a very different scene than what we saw 16 days ago, in that we're not having to see kids running out because
yes.
they're out from the shelter. But this is police presence there as they are trying to work down whatever kinds of leads of what was happening there on campus. From what we know now, with this all clear, that everyone is free to move about campus, that no one has been hurt. We don't even know if there were shots fired. We just know that there was enough information to lead them to give 4 alerts on the UNC Chapel Hill campus to stay in place.
And you were here doing this before me. Did they give an idea of the general area? Did they say the student union?
They did not, but that's what we were hearing from students.
Okay. Because that video we had was the student union, the backside of it, which is across from Woolen Gym, Fetzer Gym, and the Bell Tower.
And you may be at home hearing some things like, oh, I saw this on, Facebook, or I saw this on Twitter, or whatever it is, and they said it happened here. We haven't gotten that confirmed
That's right.
from UNC Police or UNC Chapel Hill. So we've heard a lot of the same things that you have of what could have happened and where it might have happened. But because that stuff is not confirmed, we don't pass along that information until we know for sure. There's no reason to get people upset
Right.
or thinking that something has happened in a way that it has not happened, which is why we urge you again to be very careful of who you're looking at on social media and what are their reports.
Yeah, and I'm scanning, no official organization is reporting anything other than what Alert Carolina put out, which is that it's all clear. And they did, to me, it's a pretty big statement, although this may be automatically generated when things are all clear, but the fact that they said, all clear, resume normal activities, that threat has been stopped.
Is gone.
Yeah.
All right, I think we do have a live video right now from one of our news partners that we can show you. So when they said resume, right, here's all the students
Wow.
walking on campus as normal. I mean, the last time we saw students, they were told, get off campus, right? Get to where you need to be and just go. This is more of a kind of, they seem to be just walking around campus, going to the next place, that kind of thing. This after they were sheltering in place while they were holed up in dark classrooms or in offices for the last about hour and 15 minutes or so.
I mean, even the body language, they really look like everything's completely back to normal. This, by the way, this feed is live, so this is one of our news partners, so we can't control that camera whenever they zoom in or tilt the camera around. I'm actually encouraged by seeing this, it just looks, that looks like a normal day on a campus. We know it's not, but that's what it looks like.
Right. I mean, you're not seeing anybody run or move quickly, that kind of thing. You're seeing them kind of being able to just go about business. Again, this is the UNC Chapel Hill campus. This is a live picture of what campus looks like right now. We had video not too long ago of a heavy police presence and no one moving on campus as they were trying to hunt down what was going on, if there was in fact someone who was armed or dangerous in or near campus. That's that video here. This was like maybe a half an hour ago, right? When they were still trying to figure out what is going on campus. Do we need to continue the lockdown? No students on campus here. Again, this is about 20 minutes or so, which is very different than the live picture that we can show you now, which looks like kids are just kind of walking around campus as they should. And remember, this is a live picture from one of our news partners, and they are trying to do the same thing that we are, which is show you as many different things as we can. And so that's why not a perfect picture.
So we don't know details about the event or the situation, that what happened and or how it was, the threat was eliminated. We don't have any of that. We also haven't heard what they're going to do with classes. You know, if I were a betting man, I would say probably they'll suspend classes again for a few days, but we do not have any information on that. In fact, the university and all of the law enforcement agencies, including Chapel Hill Police and UNC Police, are just saying that it's all clear.
Right, and all clear is really what we want to hear. I mean, that's the end, right, of what end all be all of what we want to hear, is that it is all clear. But of course, we all have questions about what happened, why did it happen, who was involved, what's next, what worked, what didn't this time around. So we're going to continue to ask those questions. We will see you back here at 4 o'clock, and of course, we'll be keeping you updated online.